So it is completely possible to capture an enemy tank, such as this Tiger here, or disable it and repair it later. Nice. Damn! Blowing the turret right off. Oh, I feel bad for that guy. He saved up a long time for that thing. Oof, I wish I would have used mine. Let me do what the other guy did. Let's try to hit him hard with a, what do we got here? Oh, never mind. Damn it. I didn't even get a chance. National Guard? What the hell? Our third echelon is National Guard troops, Rangers, Medic, Riflemen from the regular army, and a P-51. What? So we get 2 different P-51s. There seems to be a symbol there. Available 3. Oh, so they can be shot down. And we get a finite number of them, but we get more when we unlock that tier. It does appear that our AA gun was still firing even though it was destroyed. Wow, this is nice. This is the it's a 37mm with 250 cals attached to it, so that's a mighty fine anti-aircraft gun. Oh, wait a minute. If we call for medical evac, just a troop spawns out of nowhere? What? Why? If that's the case, then there's no reason to call up a medic. Oh, dude, the enemy doesn't even stand a chance. It has been a long time coming, and finally, after a very long wait, we have ourselves our first look at Men of War 2. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome aboard for a game that I never really thought actually would be made. Long time ago on the channel, we put up videos of Men of War, and that game gave birth to Men of War Assault Squad and Men of War Assault Squad 2, and then eventually into, well, Gates of Hell, which was a mod for Call to Arms, which was kind of a modern version of Men of War Assault Squad. There's a lot of other spin-offs too, like Men of War Vietnam and Cold War, which weren't as well received as the original Men of War, and I think Men of War Assault Squad 2, especially with all of the crazy mods from the modding community, did a damn good job of making Men of War Assault Squad 2 probably one of my favorite real-time strategy games of the Second World War of all time. Now, of course, Company of Heroes is very, very good too, but Men of War Assault Squad had some damn good realism, and with the Rob's Realism mod, added tons of just like real-world tactics and vulnerability to your infantry and your tanks that you would imagine being present on the battlefield. Company of Heroes, for example, an infantry squad walks out in front of an MG42 and eventually they'll die. But in Men of War Assault Squad 2, when that would happen, the squad was, it was just, they were gone. They were dead. That was it. Well, now finally, I'm going to tell you in just a moment how you can play Men of War Assault Squad 2 for yourself. And this is our first look at this, so there's really a lot to break down here before we get into the gameplay to talk about what the game will be. And then, of course, I'm going to actually play a match, and we'll take a look at a lot of the units. Now, this will feature both the Germans, the Americans, and the Soviets, with no sight of the British yet in this playtest, but of course, anything could happen later down the line in terms of a campaign, which you can see up here at the top, and then, of course, also a tutorial section. So if you get this for yourself today, if you don't know anything about this game, you can definitely go through the tutorials, which might be a little tricky for those of you coming over from perhaps Company Heroes 1, 2, or 3 and wanting to play something with a little bit more quote-unquote realism. It's not really that much more realistic. It's just a little different, and so this does a good job of explaining all the differences between, you know, what units will be available in the game. And mods, by the way, will add tons more units. And yeah, it definitely seems like something where I want to see a lot more of more units. These are all the German units. Of course, here we have the Germans, USSR, and the Americans too. So infantry, and it looks like all by level, which I'm not exactly sure what that means yet. I'm not sure if it'll have to be unlocked, but uh-oh, I'm seeing a lot of yellow stuff. That better not be premium. What I'm thinking, though, is that that is not the case, and that it actually has to be unlocked for multiplayer by playing multiplayer matches. The original Men of War was like that, too, where they wanted you to play enough multiplayer matches in order to then play in other units, which was really confusing. Like, if you'd go into the battle and somebody else was a veteran, not only did they have the skills of veterancy, but then they also had a Tiger tank, and you had no skills, and a Stuart tank. Well, obviously, we were going to die. At least if they gave you the same units, you had a fighting chance if you had some experience from a previous game. But, yeah, that's that. All right, well, for now, during this multiplayer playtest, we have access to player versus player. There does seem to be a duel mode, which could be matchmaking 1v1. Player versus player, I think, is anywhere from 2 to 4. And then player versus environment, is that PvE? Well, more like PvE AI. I think that's what that means. It's weird how they call it environment, though. It feels like, what, is a building going to collapse and like attack my troops with a bayonet? I have no idea what that means. I think what that is just comp stomp, essentially, which is kind of cool. You can get into a game and learn. But anyway, for now, we're going to go ahead and try ourselves some matchmaking, but there are lobbies up. And now I got wind about this game a few days ago, but didn't have a chance yet to play multiplayer, so we're going to go ahead and jump into a player versus player multiplayer match and see how it all goes. Now, here's where to really pay attention in this game is that this is how we'll kind of be restricted to the units that we can utilize, and it does require us to, similar to Company of Heroes, specialize in what we're going to bring out to the battlefield. Now, we don't just get access to every single unit in the game and get to call out whatever we want to respond to enemy movements. We have to pick a specialty, whether that be artillery, infantry, or tanks, or in some cases kind of a little bit more like engineering and defensive. Now, the Germans and the Soviets and the Americans will all have somewhat of the same equal units. For example, the Germans have an anti-tank detachment, and also the Soviets do too, anti-tank artillery. But then the Americans might not have that. They do here, but they might have something else, like, for example, mechanized engineers with the, what the hell is the name of that thing again? Anyway, yeah, so lots of different layouts for all these different units. It looks like the Americans have the least amount of units, but this is, again, just a multiplayer playtest. So, again, just extremely stressing everyone not to judge everything. We could gain things, lose things. Everything could be all different. But anyway, now if you want to know how to get Men of War Assault Squad 2 and try it for yourself, this is a free playtest that everybody can just go to the Steam store page. It's not for sale now, but if you just go to Men of War 2 on Steam and request access, you'll have to do that manually. You can then get immediate access to this multiplayer playtest, so it should be available for a few days. So this will allow you to either jump right into a matchmaking match where you can play USSR, Germany, or USA versus the same. You can also edit these regiments, so as you unlock things by playing, you can get things like supply trucks, mortars, and other things that go along with that artillery regiment. Obviously, a tank regiment would have more tanks, and obviously infantry would probably have maybe a mix of some light artillery like mortars and maybe a light tank or two. But this also really makes you rely on other troops on the battlefield, i.e. your allies. And so it might be a good idea to jump into Discord with a friend with a little bit of experience, try to make up for what your units might be weak on. 3v3 seem ideal here because, of course, you'll have infantry, artillery or anti-tank, and then also tanks. So that might be very important. But then, of course, lobbies, too, which seem to play up to 10 players. So we do have 10 players confirmed. There's different regions, but a lot of these seem to be password locked. But I am playing kind of later at night just to kind of take a peek around. So let's jump into a 1v1 and see how it all plays out. I think we'll just play as the American 1st Infantry Battalion. And as I unlock things, I will probably be able to add more stuff. Now, I'm assuming this any squad that we start with or any battalion or regiment or whatnot is probably going to suck because they don't have a lot of stuff unlocked. So, yeah, take my gameplay with a grain of salt, really. All right, let's play. Loading in now, and I just wanted to take a quick look at how the loading screen would be. Looks like at least it lays out the rules and the game mode objectives for everyone, so there's a little less confusion about what to do. And it looks like there is a good breakdown here. 2 tank regiments and artillery against us versus 2... well, actually, we have a diverse tank, infantry, and artillery regiment here, which is kind of cool. I'm a battalion, but regardless, this makes me think, though, yeah, this is going to be weird fighting, like, random German versus American. I don't think I would like the matchmaking as much. I don't really need the clout, and I don't really care too much about non-historical battles. But I would probably want to fight, like, you know, Germans versus Soviets or Americans versus Germans, just to kind of, like, I don't know, recreate battles, you know, on the Western Front. It's confusing to have, like, the Soviets next to the Americans with the Germans fighting with them against, like, an all-American team or something. That's just completely weird. But, yeah. Also, there is good music in this game. I've just kind of muted it for, you know, the regular copyright BS that you have to deal with all the time. And I don't want any trouble, YouTube, okay? All right, so this is a 3x3 territory control. So this is going to be our standard capture the flag, quote-unquote, where we likely have to go into a circle or a square that's in a strategic point in the map and then actually lock it down. Only first echelon available for now. Okay, so this plays a little bit like Men of War, or Call to Arms then, I should say. Or like Steel Division, how a certain amount of time has to pass. Now, this is literally my first time playing this. I've not done anything with tutorial, and I'm assuming this is how a lot of people are going to want to play. Like, who has time for a tutorial nowadays? We want to play a damn game. So my team will hate me, but that's fine. I'll make up with it with good editing. No, I'm not going to edit either. It's all lies. Hey, check this out though. We can install anti-tank, anti-personnel mines. It looks like we can. Are we actually building defenses here? This is strange. This was supposed to be a 3x3 mode. Prepare to fight. Time left. Control as much territory as possible. What the hell is going on? Why would we get access to this stuff now? And why are our allies swimming in the water? What the hell's going on? How did that guy get there? The match literally just started. Alright, looks like our allies have called out a... what? Script. Wait, are these... is this an AI? The hell? Okay, so wait a minute. We're mixed with... okay, so these are player-controlled units here. But then there's also AI units on our side and the enemy side. Okay, this is supposed to prevent rushing like that. Oh, dude. Actually, I remember this map from the first game, too. They've recreated this. Or at least it's somewhat seemingly familiar with the lake there. A little bit. All right, anyway, let's call our stuff out. So under Tier 1, we've got ourselves a P-51D airstrike. Is that going to be a strafing run? We have SMG recruits. An anti-aircraft gun, that's good, and also grenadiers. I'm going to call it that AA gun right away. Can I call where that goes? And how do I see my units as they're called out? Got a Volkswagen pulling up. Should be called a Kubelwagen, actually. But Volkswagen Type 82, okay, I guess that makes sense. That's our friend there with a Lee gun. That's cool. All right, Kubelwagen can actually tow... like a small Lee gun. That's the first time I've seen that in these games. Yeah, that seems like it would be possible. We also have apparently a railroad available. I don't know what the hell that means. I did call out a AA gun, so... oh, now it called out? What the hell? Wow, this is weird. I think I'm supposed to right-click. Is that what it is? Oh, there we go. Okay. It displayed the unit... so I was assuming that it actually came out. Awesome! Our unit deployed and immediately is destroyed. Awesome. it plowed into the river. It plowed into a dock at the river. Awesome. Great. Alright, well, screw it. Whatever. We'll just say it hit a mine or whatever. Okay, you know, this is war. Equipment breaks down. You know, this happens. Alright, friendly aircraft's coming up. Looks like a bombing run. Alright, that took out their tank, pretty much. Nope. It's on fire. That doesn't look very good. Oh, wow. An M2A1, damn. I think the first time I saw that tank was in, like, Medal of Honor Pacific... or no, Rising Sun. The one with Arlie Ermy. Oh, damn. Nice. All right, cool. Let's see if it cooks off. Oh, hell yeah. All right. Hey, not bad. I've seen T-72s get higher, but all right. Now, he's saying left, but let's see if we can repair our tank here. Our vehicle. Typically, control, yeah, Shift R is what that is, yeah. All right, let's see if we can repair that car. Okay, our boys are trying to repair that. I'm going to go ahead and move left then. But I don't... we have a giant lake in our way. There's really not too much to cover here. Let's actually see if we can cross the river and go right. There's just random-ass people walking around during a war. What, is this just a random townie? Okay. We'll do that. What the hell is he doing? Wait a minute. Is he digging trenches? Wow, that'd be interesting as hell. Wait, okay, we have... our team is actually setting up, like, defensive structures. But it's from the AI. I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going to go right. I know he's screaming left, but we do have a tank there. I'm going to go where we don't have a player on the right side. Okay, well, with this being the Germans, the Soviets, and the Americans, I'm assuming we're mostly going to be seeing Germany and France as the two main battlefields. Until we get access to maybe, like, the British... and if we were able to get access to the British, we could see maybe North Africa with the Germans and the British fighting. And it'd be kind of cool if they did something like, for example, Company Heroes 2, where they also brought into Italy and had some Italian forces and also could bring in the Americans in, like, the... wait, what's going on now? Break the front line? Okay, now I'm starting to think to myself, I've played this before, but I think it was a different version of this. I know I played something along the lines of... Men of War 2, but it was something else, and it kind of played like this. Maybe I have played this before, but this is like the first time I actually think I played multiplayer. Although I do appreciate the front line like this. It looks like they want us to push the left flank. Okay. That's interesting. Let's get our unit up there. So wait a minute. I think the enemy is being instructed to attack our right flank. We're being instructed to attack their left flank. Can we go into a first-person mode to fire? Okay, I'm not even firing. That's AI. Okay, now we have the second echelon available. We have the last one waiting for 8 minutes for that. Let's get some riflemen veterans up here. Okay, we got to right-click to deploy. All right. And then we have access to an A-20 airstrike. We have an M1919 A6 30 cal. Ooh, that's like a large squad. I thought it'd just be 2 men. We also have grenadiers. It looks like they actually have a bazooka or a recoilless rifle. Kind of hard to tell, but I would hope it would be a bazooka. Now we just got random AI walking around. So our allies have been instructed to attack the left flank. So this is actually kind of cool. The battlefield will shift and be dynamic at random, and it looks like we get instructed to attack at a certain point. So it kind of prevents turtling, and we might get special, I guess, advantages for advancing like that. Now the enemy was probably told to advance and do the same, although I'm not sure where they're attacking, like if they have a flag that we're supposed to defend. But maybe that'll happen in a moment. Alright, here's our infantry now. So where's that M1919? Okay, I was imagining it being an emplacement, but it's actually a squad. Alright, well anyway, nice thing about this game is that we can actually take, oh wow, same voice acting from the originals. And as Americans always say, for the motherland, you know us. Oh, this is going to be bad for them. Wow, get wrecked. Troops were in a nice flanking position there. Alright, let's push up. We'll kind of just leapfrog across the road there. The attack is over. Time to defend. Okay. Friendly's calling in an airstrike. A-20 as well, look like. Damn nice explosion.
Yes, sir.
So this is certainly feeling like maybe the early days of Men of War Assault Squad 2, but with a weird mix of the original Men of War.
Yes, sir. So
it certainly feels like a heavily modded Men of War Assault Squad that feels more like Men of War. And these troops are all bunched up like crazy. Can you guys spread out? I wonder if the AI, let's test the AI to see if they'll do it themselves. Wow, that's rude, sir. Well, I shot his airplane down. Alright, in red here is the enemy soldiers who are dead. In yellow are the ones that are on our team that are killed. So we did lose that MG. Does anyone have capability of being a medic? Oh, we have a medic in our squad. Hell yeah.
Got it, sir.
Oh, nice. He could actually pick them up, carry them over the fence. That's big props. So no longer do troops have to be worked on in the field. Where did he go? Wait, what the hell happened? It looked like an AI. Oh, are we going to regain like a discount or something for that soldier? Okay, so that kind of works like how in like maybe Company Heroes when you retreat a unit or something like that. This is kind of like them retreating to the HQ to then be used later in the next, you know, if I call out another squad, they might be able to be used in that way.
Got it, sir.
With their veterancy. Okay.
Yes,
Go ahead and
sir.
spread out a little bit. So we have AT guns firing. We have anti-aircraft guns. Our anti-aircraft guns shot down a aircraft earlier, but I wasn't sure exactly which type. Looks like lots of crazy stuff is happening up in the upper right corner. Now there's two enemy tank players against us, and we're infantry, so As many of you know, tanks hard, infantry soft, so it looks like they are trying to attack this position. I really just want an emplacement here, but not like an anti-aircraft gun. Oh, they're calling in another helicopter. A horizontal helicopter. AKA an airplane.
Yes, sir.
Looks like we're low on munitions. Not sure how to call that in. We have a railroad here, 18 out of 20. Maybe this means how many units we can call out simultaneously. This over here on the right side must be a cooldown, so that way if you're calling in reinforcements, they have to be brought in via railroad. And so it simulates how many units can be transported to the front at a time. I do like that, so that way players... Looks like a lot of things are to try to prevent turtling and also like giant bank-busting advances where they just spend like hundreds and hundreds of points at any given time.
Yes, sir.
Is this truck back up and operational? And let's try the first-person control, or the direct control. Oh, hell yeah, brother. We can rip and dip. All right, that's pretty good. So vehicles in this game, in all Meta War games, including Gates of Hell, can all be controlled either first or third person. That must be the helicopter we shot down over here. Yeah, I know it's a plane. I'm just saying. Oh, damn. All right, we're high-centered. Well, that's that, boys. Wow, that's actually cool, though. It looks like the crashed airplane. This is an American one. I don't know if this is an asset that was on the map or if that was from our combat, but it looks like that's a solid object, so we can't just drive through it or push it aside. In other words, our troops can actually take cover behind debris, like aircraft. I'd expect that from tanks, but aircraft's kind of a different story sometimes. Alright, well, we got great anti-aircraft here on the right side. I'm going to just stay put until we've got more access to... oh, damn. Chaffee tank pushing up there. Love how you can see all of the stats for the tank on the right side. The fact that it's got a 75mm gun, that it can fire both AP and HE. It's got a 7.62 machine gun fed by a belt. Its armor values, both front, back, and side. And then it's blown up real nicely. Wow, damn. Ooh. Tank actually kind of changes colors a little bit when it's burnt out, too. I like that. Now, tanks in this game can be recovered if you don't completely clobber them like those enemy tanks have been. So it is completely possible to capture an enemy tank, such as this Tiger here, or disable it and repair it later. Nice. Damn! Blowing the turret right off. Oh, I feel bad for that guy. He saved up a long time for that thing. Oof, I wish I would have used mine. So the A-20 airstrike seems like a very good, precise airstrike for medium and heavy tanks. And the maybe the P-51's good for maybe other enemy aircraft or infantry. Usually, aircraft in this game, in this genre, all just kind of focus on attacking ground units. Oh, there goes another aircraft there. Was that a Messerschmitt that I saw earlier? I thought it was an American aircraft over here. Wow, there's parts all over. Oh, that's an American aircraft there. The A-20 now shot down. Alright, they now want us to break through on the center flank and try to capture somewhere. It doesn't necessarily say where. I think we get about a minute to prepare for an attack, and then we have to break through after the countdown hits 0 and go for the precise position they've indicated. Let me do what the other guy did. Let's try to hit him hard with a, what do we got here? Oh, never mind. Damn it. I didn't even get a chance. National Guard? What the hell? Our third echelon is National Guard troops, Rangers, Medic, Riflemen from the regular army, and a P-51. What? So we get 2 different P-51s. There seems to be a symbol there, available 3. Oh, so they can be shot down, and we get a finite number of them, but we get more when we unlock that tier. It does appear that our AA gun was still firing even though it was destroyed. Wow, this is nice. This is the it's a 37 millimeter with 250 cals attached to it. So that's a mighty fine anti-aircraft gun.
Got it, sir.
Oh, wait a minute. If we call for medical evac, just a troop spawns out of nowhere? What? Why? If that's the case, then there's no reason to call up a medic. Oh, dude, the enemy doesn't even stand a chance. Actually, again, I'm confused because remember, the American troops that come out onto the battlefield might be on the enemy side. I'll call up a medic here. I'm not sure. Unable to summon? Okay, I want a medic so I can heal these troops here, but I can't do it. I guess I just have to call up this fake medic. Alright, so I guess what happens is when we call up a medic, they just pull these guys back, and then we get them as, like, troops to call up later. Like, they're out of the fight, they go back to, like, a triage, or, like, an actual field hospital. They're not healed in the battle, but they get, like, pulled out to an HQ, and then are pushed that way. Alright, thank God our guy here is doing something with the troops. I'm going to do the same. Let's just throw infantry into the battle. Now, the tank combat in Men of War Assault Squad, I think, was better than the original Men of War. In Men of War, you kind of got some markers of green, yellow, or red based on if you could penetrate the armor of an enemy tank, and it wasn't always guaranteed. There was a lot of RNG for it, but I thought mods like the Rob's Realism mod and stuff made that a lot better. But the enemy is just losing tanks left and right here. I mean, I think, truly, infantry in this game is really going to be what wins these battles. Let's try to hit this guy. There we go. Finally calling out our own bomber. But, yeah. Forgot to right-click. So infantry is incredibly effective because, of course, as the artillery is falling and as buildings are crumbling, the infantry are better to hide in those locations. Oh, wow. That was like... What the hell was that? A cruise missile that thing fired? That was crazy. All right, no more enemy artillery. And it looks like they're firing at somebody. Enemy panicked and called up like a 20 millimeter half-track? Okay. We need to keep our troops away from that. We'll get shredded. And where are our troops now? Here. Oof. The AI calls them up into lines like that. I don't like that. But what's interesting is we called up 2 squads and now they can be folded into 1. So I guess we can kind of make it like a squad that also has a 30 cal with a bunch of riflemen. And it looks like the AI is smart enough to jump over the fences here, or these walls, and like take cover.
Got it, sir.
Let's try to throw a grenade at that.
Got it, sir.
There's an AT gun there. Oh, looks like, wow, that's interesting. The player there made his tank crew basically bail from that position. That was a close close strike there. Let's call it P-51. Oh, a rocket strike. Hell yeah, brother. Gotta wait for that tank to kind of sit still a little bit. How the hell do I call this in here? What? It showed like a line of rockets, and now it's just a multiple bombing runs? The hell? What the hell just happened? Wait, is there a Katusha on the field? Oh, it's a damn whiz bang. Nice. Oh, and looks like we lost connection to the other guy. Rage quit? I have no idea. So we had rockets from the left side, which seemed to be our possibly our Mustang, and then his rockets from the whiz bang, and then there was a bomb from a second plane that came in from somewhere. I don't know. All right, this is cool though. We get these withdrawn units that it looks like we can call back in. We can kind of have them as like, if they survive and they have some veterancy, there's a chance that we can get them back into the fight. I do like that. That's pretty cool. You have some high-level units that take a beating and some of them get killed and wounded. You can fold them back into the fight. Makes sense. Is that a 30 cal? Barely even know. 30 cal kind of sounds like an MG34 or something, but the ping of the Garand is nice. But yeah, I think you could complain about sounds and graphics and all that all day, to be completely fair. In my opinion, the simpler the graphics, the less lag, and the more enjoyable that multiplayer is. And also the more people that have access to these games without having to have supercomputers. So I'm totally fine with that in terms of multiplayer. And I think that's probably what they're going for, with a little bit more emphasis on this being kind of like Gates of Hell's Conquest mode, but also feeling a little bit like Steel Division. Now, this is going to take me a little bit more time to get used to, but I mean, I'm interested enough in a free playtest to continue to play this more. So they've got my interest and they've got my curiosity, and I'm trying to remember what the hell I played before, which was kind of like this too, where AI was dug in the back and there were actual trenches, and it was something along these lines, but oh, that's juicy. You're dead. What the hell is that? Is that a Yag Panther with a turret? I've never... Well, it's dead now. Is there a Yag Panther with a turret like that? I don't even know how the hell he got access to that. That just seemed like he was part of a regular heavy tank division, but that seems like it would be some sort of special division. I can't even tell who's winning at the moment. I think we're winning. Are we in blue? Advantage score 58, unit elimination score. Okay, so we could definitely be pushed back to the edge of the map, but if the enemy's throwing up some really heavy tanks to try to push us back and they're losing those tanks, we could still win. Hence Battle of the Bulge type deal. Enemies gaining territory, but they've lost so many veteran troops and so many advanced tanks that it's not even worth it. Nice, Flak 88 here. Let's check the animation on the 88. Gun looks nice. Great camo. Crew looks cool. Oh, nice. It looks pretty good. I'd like to see the little Kuba wagon try to tow this. Be funny if that were a glitch or something, huh? You could bring in... you could haul this thing around with that. All right, now we've got a Jumbo. 76 Jumbo up here. Nice. Good paint job. They look pretty good and gritty. You know, this honestly does feel like Men of War 2. This really does. It just feels like a game that could have come out maybe damn near 8+ years ago, 8 to 12 years ago. I don't even know when the first one came out, 2009. I know there was like, what, Faces of War? And that kind of felt like it was part of the, maybe even from the same devs or whatnot. But I could just remember the first game's missions with baptism by fire and defending a glorious tractor factory and different sections of it. And I really like those missions, and I want to play a lot more single player. Multiplayer is cool and all, but I want to play, you know, single player missions and mods. I think that's one of the things that the, I don't even know how to aim this rocket strike. But I think that's one thing that Gates of Hell does well. That seems to be better for infantry. But there's so many great mod makers for Men of War Assault Squad 2 and for who eventually went on to Gates of Hell, like for example Sir Henkel, who I believe became like a level and a mission designer for that game after being a modder for the Men of War Assault Squad 2 game. And of course Call to Arms is also very cool as well. I think you should get those games if ever they're on a sale. If this kind of piques your interest, I think the Men of War Assault Squad 2 and Call to Arms / Gates of Hell games are all great for all the just jam-packed full of mods that they are. Let's call out this National Guard on this left side. What is this exactly? Oh, can we build a sniper tower? Or is that just a sniper tower that's there for looks? Now, there is engineers in this game, so I still would like to see what they can do. I mean, we don't have the ability to build any of these things at the bottom. And I don't know if this is based on... I'm not sure exactly how we unlock that kind of stuff. How do we get the troops out? B? Okay. But it looks like troops might be able to dig their own foxholes, too. We can dig a trench, for example, so let's see if we can do that just for demonstration purposes. But how do we get those troops to dig that the correct way? Oh, that's cool. All right. So this, I guess we point this way towards enemy? Oh, yeah, okay. So no matter which way we rotate it, the game is smart enough to make the trench face towards the enemy. That's very helpful. Alright, so infantry can dig trenches, so that's another great advantage for them. They also, of course, have the ability to lay mines and whatnot. I don't want to dig a trench here precisely, though.
Yes, sir.
But the engineers are probably the troops that could do that. Now, can we dig a trench in territory that's not ours? It seems to kind of stop us from doing that. So we have to dig in friendly territory. So a little bit of like company heroes there. Now let's see how quickly they can dig. And let's have these troops cover them.
Got it, sir. Hurrah!
Let's have them take cover there. Wow, that's really cool that you can actually see them dig out the trenches. This makes me really want to play assault engineers and be able to, build minefields and dig trenches and then set up machine guns and kind of go more on the defensive. That was one of the things I really liked about Men of War Assault Squad 2 was the Frontlines mode, which allowed for one side to defend and one side to attack. Oh, and these trenches seem nice and deep. But it looks like the troops can only fire onto these grooves. Okay. We may as well make a foxhole then if they don't have the ability to... It seems like if 5 people dig the trench, they'll dig the trench for 5 people, rather than 5 people digging a long trench that could be used by 20 or 30. Interesting. Oh! Looks like that was just kind of thrown in the middle of town. Oh, that's interesting. Because of the bombs incoming, he was forced to drive forward, and then that made him run into the AT gun with a crazy... There's a crazy AT gun range over here somewhere. Oh yeah, the PaK-43. That... I was going to say that's probably what shot him, but there's some buildings in the way, so... The Jumbo instead, firing at that whiz-bang. Not sure what the flashes are here. That might be to simulate where there was gunfire before, but we no longer have line of sight on. That might be what that's for. Now, at this point, with one of the enemies disconnected, I don't know if we lost in friendly too, but the game typically, from what I can imagine, makes it so that way a friendly player who may have dropped, their points will go towards a teammate or other teammates, so they have a chance to basically make up for the loss. So I guess engineers or medics here are like identifying who's wounded and then having and then just clicking on them. That's so strange. Why not make that automatic? I don't get it. Anyway, let's call up some more National Guard here on the right flank. And veteran riflemen too. We have access to what looks to be anti-tank grenades and other grenades, and then 10 grenades. Oh, must be individual soldier. Has AT grenade and 2 grenades, and then in the total squad they have 5 anti-tank grenades. They also have anti-personnel grenades and then throwing knives and stuff with them too, so they can do stealth operations. They can get behind enemy lines and take out a sentry or something without gunfire. Now let's try this vehicle. Love it. You can see some stuff drawn on the side. Honey, it says. Oh, yeah. Well, we're about to be honey roasted here in a minute if we don't get out.
We'll do that.
Nice. So, yeah, we got him mounted at, what, 50 cal? Oh, what the hell? The whole crew got out. Interesting.
Got it, sir.
Oh, no. Get that BAR on the line. No, 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 no. Get out.
Got it, sir.
The command I hit was B. What exactly does that do for us? Oh, bazooka? Wow. Yeah, get on that Browning. There we go. Alright, so we got ourselves a M2, so 50 cal. We can camouflage position. Can he camouflage that damn tank? Or vehicle? Oh, it just... Oh, that's really cool. Okay. Another big plus. We can actually camouflage vehicles and use it to ambush. Very cool. Hopefully we can do that with, like, AT guns. That must be a thing. I think I saw it with the tank, too, but I didn't realize that's what was going on.
Go!
All right, well, we've done some huge pushes into enemy territory on this right flank.
Go!
We're pretty much unopposed here. Can we actually cut this? Can we pinch this off here? And or how does this work? Maybe there's actually enemy troops here? Just hiding? Wow. Now we have an encirclement. Hearts of Iron mode, y'all. Now, I don't know how I feel thinking about the incentives to try to push to where the AI is telling you to, where the scripted attacks are. There's probably big bonuses that affect your points and then allows you to attack somewhere else, because then you'll have a higher income, but I feel like I would want to attack where the enemy is the weakest and defend at my strongest where their attack is the strongest. And then just continuously be attacking or probing the lines or luring the enemy into my defenses in order to kind of use that as an attack and then counterattacking.
We'll do that.
Basic stuff. It's like in boxing. Make your enemy swing at you out of reach, and then you hit them with a with a long arm. Okay, well, we've swung around to the backside here. We've got 1,700 points. No slight to the enemy. Everybody's new at this, and this is kind of confusing. I do appreciate the map with, like, Bravo 1 or Delta 7. You know, you can basically, you know, call off where enemies are spotted. Love that breakdown of the map that way. Maps look good. I certainly feel like a Men of War Assault Squad map, and I feel like the zoom out is a little bit more than what we got with Men of War Assault Squad. I think Men of War Assault Squad was like this, and this game allows us to go a little further. Although, in this type of game, you always want to be able to zoom out more, but oftentimes you should be zoomed in, especially if you're doing third person. Weird that our infantry moves in a line like this. It's so weird to see them, like, nicely spaced out.
Hooray!
But they kind of move a little awkwardly. But I appreciate it. Like, I'm glad that as they move out, if a artillery piece or something was able to fire behind us, it would only kill 3 men rather than a whole squad, which oftentimes they were just, like, bunched up and stuff. All right, let's come up behind some enemy tanks and see if we can bring them to fight.
In progress. In progress.
Wow, that's a lot of blood. Let's move up on that 20 cal. Something up here, too. Oh, damn it, we won. Well, very nicely done from the our friends here. Me with the lowest score, mostly because, well, actually not necessarily, but mostly a tank fight on this one. But I wonder what infantry is going to be able to do against tanks. But, yeah. So, looks like we had weapons to be able to deal with tanks. You know, we had bazookas and we had that 37mm at the start. And, of course, we could also provide line of sight. Score isn't always everything in these games. If you have somebody who's got infantry behind enemy lines and they're giving you line of sight on enemy movement and somebody else is calling in tons of air and artillery strikes and they're scoring the kills, yeah, you can't really judge these things at the surface. Not only players' performances, like in Foxhole or Hell Let Loose, there's many other things to do other than being on the front line and shooting all the time. But I like what I see here in terms of being intrigued to play more. I want to see what the campaign will hold, which obviously means a Soviet, an American, and a German campaign. Likely, we'll probably see what we have before of early day, you know, German invasions, perhaps of Poland and France, and then everything else from there on out will probably be Eastern Front, and then something around Normandy, and then probably Battle of the Bulge. But yeah, I guess I'm totally not opposed to getting more any sort of RTSs. I like the infantry that we've seen. I like how they are trying to break things down into specialty squads. But I feel like some of those mixers are very strange. But you're going to have to build your own stuff. That was just a prefab thing. So remember that weird, like, National Guard thing that we saw on, like, Tier 3? That could have been Rangers, maybe, and, like, given them a half-track or something to push up with and, like, bazookas and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely some historical realism that you could make by taking actual existing artillery pieces and infantry squads and aircraft and putting them together. And of course, being obviously with like the Devils and paratroopers, you could go for a more airborne centric deck, for lack of a better term, or you could go with oh my god, the T-26E4. Looks like is there a way to actually see these in 3D modeling? There probably will be in the full game. A way to actually see those laid out. But all right, well, they got my interest, they got my curiosity. I want to play it more, I want to live stream it more, I want to get more people interested. But hey, you know what? Before you say anything, look, this is a free playtest on Steam, essentially a free demo. Give it a try and come on back to this video and let me know what you think. Play for about an hour and give me your honest thoughts after gameplay. A lot of things that I'm thinking off the start, but I want to play the Soviets and the Germans a bit and get my final thoughts on this thing, after its release. I like it. I like that we're getting another Men of War, and I like that the classic's getting a sequel. Pretty cool. Hopefully the campaign is kick-ass. All right. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll see y'all. Bye.